welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my good buddy, Ryan Ennis. Ryan, how are you, sir?
Very good. And a quick funny story, because that theme just made me realize something. I was sitting there the other day going through fucking Facebook, and whenever I'm on Wi-Fi, videos autoplay, and out of nowhere, I hear the theme song to our podcast start playing. Apparently somebody used that music in a random ass video on Facebook.
Yeah, because this music is basically, I guess you would call it like non-copyrighted music that like YouTube lets you use.
Yeah. I
guess is how you word it. Yeah, I ripped it off of there.
Public domain?
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I've heard it before, and I did the same thing. I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had just happened to stick my phone in my pocket, and things were randomly playing. I had my headset in, and I started hearing it play. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how did I get to our podcast? I was like, how did I get to the YouTube page?
That's funny.
But yeah, okay. I thought you would find that funny.
Yeah, Lance said that the same thing happened to him before, and he was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I never knew where we got that from, but it's good to know. That's actually smart, you know, so shit doesn't get taken down.
Oh, dude, because they're really picky with stuff like that, man.
I mean, I'd kind of want that too. I mean, if I was a creator and I made something and then people would try to profit or use it for their own benefit, I'd kind of be pissed off too.
I mean, absolutely. I would say more so for, I don't want to say struggling artists, but you know, people that are trying to make it.
Yeah, I care more. All right, yeah, like there's a band that a friend of mine and I really liked in the early 2000s called Flaw, F-L-A-W.
Mm-hmm.
Only problem is they came out during the Napster era. So instead of people buying their album, everybody downloaded it. So for a while, it was one of the more I don't want to say most downloaded rock albums. Yeah, but it was one of the more popular rock albums of the time being downloaded, and they weren't making any money off of it. So it was definitely moving, but not where they was putting money in their pocket.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that's kind of like new metal done right.
Yeah.
You may like
that's
it.
Interesting. 'Cause I was a new metal fan back in the day.
They're a good band. I go back and I listen to this stuff sometimes. I mean, it's you know, like good lyrics, like stuff that you can fucking relate to. It's not just like music that's just music for the sake of being music. It's like, oh shit, like I can actually relate to some of those.
Yeah, make you think and shit like that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, Flaw. Everybody go download something.
Yeah, there you go. Check them out. All right. Before we get rolling tonight, I wanted to talk about, and I thought it was last week. It's been 2 weeks already. Man, time flies. My experience I had over at MLW, which for those that aren't aware, that's Major League Wrestling. I think it's Court Bauer's company. I think he goes on Stone Cold's podcast sometimes.
Yes. Yes. He goes on Austin's podcast, and they cover usually. Oh no, or is that Wade Keller?
See, I always get him confused.
I don't know. He's definitely on something occasionally. Either that or he's on something. But yes.
But you know who I'm referring to.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And well, he has his own.
We're not talking about the AEW guy, Conrad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has his own company now at Major League Wrestling that's primarily based out of Florida, and they're trying to run, you know, more bigger cities. Like they did New York. They just did Philly 2 weeks ago. They were doing Chicago coming up, you know, trying to get out there. But it was an interesting experience because I got to work. Hang on one second. Lance is saying he runs all the MLW podcasts. Pritchard's Bischoff. He's the money guy.
Pritchard is the one that is he the one that does the podcast with Pritchard Court Bauer? Because I think Jericho sometimes has him on the podcast. I don't think it's Austin. I think Austin does Wade Keller mostly.
Okay.
But yes, I know who Court Bauer is.
Yeah, anyway, long story short, I got to work crew on their show that day, which was a very interesting experience.
Explain.
At the ECW Arena.
Elaborate.
I was there, let's see, what time? I was there, God, at like 11 or 12 noon, I want to say. So I got to help
make you wash their underwear by bare hands, like in the
New
Japan dojo.
No, I got to help set stuff up, so that was cool.
Chairs and stuff.
Yeah, and learning how to basically everything that makes the magic happen that you don't normally see.
That's cool.
And I had a very odd experience meeting Loki.
Okay, explain.
I mean, not that that he didn't do anything wrong, but I was helping put up banners and different things for their sponsors, and I had my head down.
Oh, no.
And sometimes where you'll pick your head up and you lock eyes with somebody, not like to purposely do it, it just happens.
Yes, when you start gazing into a stranger's eyes, yes, I do that all the time.
That's what happened, and Loki looked right at me, I looked right at him, and he stopped what he was doing and came over, and he in this really like super deep gruff voice goes,
bro, his voice does not look like it fits on him.
Yeah.
When you hear it come out of him in person, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so he looks at me and he goes, hello, and shakes my hand. I said, oh, hello, and then off he went.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
It was just so odd.
I'm pretty certain he lived a couple blocks away from where I lived in Brooklyn, because I would see him occasionally.
Yeah, Chenille told me you used to see him all the time.
Oh, that's kind of stretching it, but yeah. I'd see him in Rite Aid online, and that was the weirdest thing. Like him and oh, what the fuck is his name? The guy who used to be the announcer for the Dudleys, the fat guy.
Joe Gertner.
Joe Gertner. Yeah, he's constantly posting on Kevin stuff about like the fact that he's still living in Bay Ridge, and I don't know if they hate each other or if they're just staying a gimmick. Sure as fuck doesn't sound like Kevin likes him.
Yeah, but that's interesting.
But yeah, I used to see Joe Gertner all the time. He'd be in the deli. I would go in every morning to get my coffee. So he lived probably within 2 blocks. This is a fucking deli on every corner in that neighborhood.
That's interesting. And then another interesting thing happened. I got to meet, and see, I don't know, because I heard he goes by 2 different names, one in the States and one overseas. I still call him Harry Smith, Davey Boy's son.
Okay.
I got to meet him because doors were still closed, and he was practicing his entrance with his whatever, the little bulldog that like when his dad used to come out with.
Yeah.
So I went over, and because I didn't want to be rude, because everyone's just, you want to introduce yourself. So I go, oh, hello, I'm so-and-so, and he shakes my hand, Ryan, and I swear to God, I thought he crushed my fucking hand.
Yeah, a lot of these guys don't realize how strong. But that kind of makes me happy to know that people are getting back into an era where they shake hands like a man and don't give a fucking wet noodle, because there have been a couple of guys, indie guys, or guys that I've met at signings that when they shake your hand, they give you the wet noodle.
Dude, I shook my hand for like a good couple minutes. That's how fucking hard he shook my hand.
That's crazy.
I was and people were messing with me. They're like, oh, you're soft or not. And I was like, go shake his hand and you tell me then. But no, dude, but he was super cool. And I'm trying to remember. That was Teddy Hart's birthday that day, so that was fun.
Oh, they did stuff for his birthday?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like, for the most part, I think a lot of the guys, especially in an environment like that, because you're in before the fans. You're not considered a fan at that point. Like, you're just considered part of whatever. They don't know who the fuck you are.
Exactly.
But they're going to give you the respect of, you're one of the guys who's in here doing stuff before the door opens. So I wouldn't expect them to be like that with all fans.
No, yeah.
They would never have time to themselves.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
But I like when, for lack of a better term, when you're there as the help, I like the fact that the talent will actually give you the time of day and at least, come over and say hi to you, introduce themselves, or at least...
Oh, yeah, everybody does that. So I had met Pillman's kid before. He was there because it was the new Heart Foundation wrestled that night, and we had talked, and he had wrestled Moff a few weeks before I had spoken to him. I didn't get to talk to him about it. And I was like, dude, I saw you wrestle Dan Moff like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And he goes, fuck, man. He's like, I was scared to death to get in the ring with him.
Moff's a scary human being. I think him and Sean Donovan have started to win tag teams titles.
Yeah, I'm happy for those dudes.
So am I. I like I've always liked Danny Moff. A few times I've met him, he's been real cool. And when I helped Flyer Bay Ridge for when they did their first show there, he was one of the ones on Facebook who was like, yo, thank you so much. Like, messaged me personally. Now, I'm sure I'm just a fan at this point again, but it was real nice. Like, he spotted me at the show and was like, oh, you're Kevin's friend Ryan, thank you so much. So
yeah, he didn't have to do that type of shit.
Oh, absolutely not. And then Sean's always just been cool, a cool dude. I've always had positive interactions with him when he has responded to things. And the fact that they're very old school, Revival kind of, fucking Donovan looks like he could be the third Revival member easily.
Yeah. I agree with that. One guy I want people to check out, because what MLW did, they had their TV taping. They taped for TV. I think it airs tonight on. I don't want to butcher it, but it's Bein Sports, BEIN Sports, is what network they're on. This one guy.
That's BN. That's Spanish for good.
Okay. This one guy that worked their TV tapings, his name is Alex Hammerstone. He has the Sid Vicious look to the T. Super fucking impressive. I was like, holy cow. Never seen the guy before.
How can he move? Does he move around well?
Yes, he's got a ridiculous finisher.
Which is?
He calls it the Nightmare Pendulum.
Okay.
And it's basically a vertical suplex, and he holds you up in the air and turns it into a rock bottom in midair.
Yeah. I've seen a couple guys do that. I think that is such a cool looking move.
And he's a huge guy. He's I would say 6'9" easily.
I mean, I like the fact that they're guys like Dijak, and I'm never gonna call him fucking whatever his new name
Russian name.
Dijakovic. No, that's still Croatian.
Yeah.
But still, that's Donovan Dijak, and until he makes it onto the main roster under a different name, he's Donovan Dijak. But he's another one of those dudes that's just huge but can move around. It's these hybrid guys.
I just felt so bad for the guy that he wrestled, because the guy was my height and had to have been 200 pounds, and he was throwing him around like he was a rag doll.
You know what, though? There may be limitations to who he can do that move to because of the fact of there's very little he can change it, because you're going from straight up to straight down.
That's true, too. A very little room for error.
Well, even with that, is that if a guy is too tall or too heavy, it just may look ugly. If the guy doesn't
Well, that's a good point.
If the guy doesn't take that proper pendulum fall down into the rock bottom, that's a hard thing to go from the guy completely upside down 180 degrees, but without the guy's feet touching the floor.
Totally.
So it could be, and you know, like that's maybe why you don't see more people do it. But you know, good for him though. What did you say his name was?
Alex Hammerstone.
Oh, I will definitely look him up
He's
after
a
this.
dude that wrestles out apparently in like Oregon and Washington State area.
Okay, and he signed with
He
MLW.
made his debut at the show I was at. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
The other talk about another real quick scary move is well, actually, if you want to go back and watch this show, I can't recommend the match enough. It was the Hearts, which was Harry Smith and Teddy Hart against Penta and Phoenix.
Okay.
Their finishing move is frightening.
The Hearts or the
The Hearts. It's the Doomsday Canadian Destroyer.
Holy shit! You don't even need to tell me anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I love Doomsday. I mean, like, Doomsday Device, for those who don't get the
It's
reference.
the old Legion of Doom finisher.
But if it has Doomsday on it, or if it had, you know, like, the single version of that would be Avalanche, which is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what Kenny Omega does. He does a lot of Avalanche stuff. That's where the guy's up on his shoulders, and he'll push them up.
Yeah, to make it look better.
Yeah. But no, that's crazy. I can't believe people are willing to take that move by Teddy Hart of all people.
I saw Phoenix took it, and I was just like, oh.
One thing I've seen, like, because I don't hear a lot about MLW, because I definitely don't have the channel that it airs on.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I hear they're losing a lot of talent.
From the AEW stuff is kind of taking some people from them, yeah.
And I think that they lost a couple women. Isn't Viper?
Yes.
But isn't she supposed to be leaving them?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she already left.
And then I think there's one other one, Kaylee Ray.
Yes, she's the one that just signed with AEW.
Okay, so then there's another one. Then I believe that they were talking about potentially leaving.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to dig into the well. I know La Park is on their next show in Chicago.
On MLW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they call him a different name now. Because there's someone else that uses the name, but I can't remember what he's called off the top of my head.
Is it LA Park?
It might be.
Because I know he used that for a long time, just LA Park. Same gimmick, same everything else, just...
Yeah, La Park.
LA Park, like Los Angeles Park.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 2 capital letters, right?
Yeah, because I just looked it up as we were talking.
Yeah, I think he's had that for a long time.
Okay, because for a while I know he had was obviously La Parka, but then they changed it after WCW went under.
Yeah, and now somebody wrestles as La Parker.
Yeah, in Mexico, I'm pretty sure.
Here's something that I learned recently, and I may have actually brought it up on a previous episode, but I don't know if I did. Did you know that in order for Ray to put his mask back on, he had to petition the Lucha Libre Council for permission?
Wow, that's interesting.
Because apparently once you lose, like, they don't allow people really to remask. And his argument was basically that fucking WCW was run by an inept group of idiots.
Wow.
And he really had no say over it. But this is after WCW had closed.
Okay.
He had no choice in whether or not he would go at, like that he could be in this match. He was told that he was losing his mask. And I guess because he comes from such a prestigious family.
Right.
Apparently they relented in letting him remask, but I didn't know it was such a big thing that there's actually a council that
neither.
Deny that. Yeah, I've learned that within the last couple of weeks.
Oh, real quick, Lance said he sent you the video of the Doomsday Canadian Destroyer.
Oh, I'll check it out. Oh shit, I'm actually in front. I actually just got on. I'm actually doing my paint by, like, my diamond paint by number thing now as we're doing this.
There you go, man. that what do you call it? The Goose Fraba stuff.
Oh, there we go. I didn't see it. He sent it in a. Let me see this. Oh, jeez, Louise.
Yeah,
wow,
nope.
Teddy Hart is looking like a heavyweight nowadays. Wow, Teddy Hart put on a little bit of weight. I don't mean that in the bad way. I mean, like, Teddy Hart still does things.
He's getting older like we all are.
Yeah, it looks like Teddy Hart ate Teddy Hart.
Yeah, but, dude, that move's fucking scary.
Yeah, it's such a cool looking move. Apparently, fucking Petey Williams. Did you hear about this when when Adam Cole does it? He calls it, I think it's the Panama Sunrise.
Yes, I've heard about this.
Well, apparently, they called it the Panama Sunrise, and apparently it's been called the Panama Sunrise since his days in like Ring of Honor and New Japan. So it was called the Panama Sunrise, and Petey Williams went off the deep end, saying how they disrespected it, that it's the Canadian Destroyer. I mean, and it's named after somebody whose nickname was the Canadian Destroyer, and he was the first one who did it, or some shit like that, which I understand that. But it's not like WWE just made up the name on their own. Like, things have official names, and then people don't want to use the official name. Like, I don't see that as a disrespect. I mean, the Labellia lock was changed to the Yes lock.
Yeah, and I look at it like this. The move is being used, so I don't know. I think it's cool in a sense of, the move's still getting out there, even if it's not named the same thing. Like, if you know what it's named after, then it shouldn't be that big of a deal, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, the lowdown and the frog splash were basically the same move, except that, like, how they fell, but in essence, it was the same thing. Guy jumps up in the air and lands in the splash, and it's like, that's supposed to make it a different move. And if somebody else doesn't call it the lowdown, I mean, like, who gives a fuck?
I don't know, because it's like, how many moves have been changed to different names in wrestling, for Christ's sake,
Not for nothing. In the grand scheme of things, who the fuck is Petey Williams?
Yeah, I mean,
he's had an okay career, but it's like,
it's not like he's Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, it's like you're really not in the category to be saying like what moves. Like, you're an indie guy, like you don't get to say what the name of moves are. And I don't mean that as a knock, but it's like,
I know what you're saying. It's not like he has some serious kind of clout.
Yeah, it's like you have no pull. People don't know that move because, I mean, we do. We know he was the first one that I've seen do it, but I don't think that gives him any right to, like, a monopoly on what people call it.
Or to be a dick about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, sorry, bro. Like, I don't know.
I hear you. Real quick, Rye, I want to get these out of the way, and we'll continue here. Don't forget to check out our if I can talk right today, follow our social media stuff, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at ASC Pods. You can find our entire catalog on B Plus Player Radio. Check them out on Twitter, at B Plus Radio. Check out their sponsors, Audible, which is a really cool site that has over, and I just found this out, over 425,000 titles of audiobooks, comic, if you like stand-up, all kind of different things. You can get a free month through them. Go to audibletrial.com/B+players, and don't forget to check out our sponsors over at Too Sweet Magazine. Find them on Twitter at 2TOO Sweet Mag.
Yeah, that Audible stuff isn't bad, especially if you got to commute to work and stuff. It's not bad to throw something on in the morning. You have a book read to you, or like Joey said, some stand-up comedy.
They got a lot of stuff. I didn't realize they had so many titles.
Yeah. If I don't have the place where I would need an audiobook right now, but I think they're great, for people who have to drive long distances to work, if that's something that would entertain you, like I think it's a great thing to at least try, especially with a 30-day free
With 30
trial.
days, yeah, man, why not? There's just been so much going on in the wrestling world. Did you last week I was at the show with Joey Ryan and Pat Buck
Yes.
where
Yeah,
they made the sheets.
yeah, I saw that. I saw Pat posted it probably like right after it happened. Once they added the fucking effects.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, good for them. I mean, like I really hope Pat ends up doing something with All Elite. I think Pat deserves to be on TV. I like his new Buzz Killer gimmick.
I do too, and truth be
Did
told,
he have that new fucking vest with him?
yes, I really like it.
Bro, he put a picture up online. I'm like, yo, this is like, it looks a lot like Ciampa's vest.
It reminds me of the stuff that the OVE guys wear.
Bro, it looks so cool. It's weathered and aged right. Bro, I really hope that this is gonna go somewhere for him. I really genuinely hope he shows up at fucking All In. Oh, I'm not All In.
I'm gonna peel back something that not a lot of people know about that. When he had that match with Joey Ryan, that was literally last minute notice.
Oh yeah, that's because Sonny Kiss couldn't get there.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys may not have known about it because you, I guess, were at the show. Sonny Kiss actually put that up on Facebook much earlier.
Okay, yeah, I didn't have service in the building.
Yeah, I don't know what time you guys found out about it, but it was still early enough in the day where I was like
4, 5.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit earlier than that. Yeah, apparently, I guess when he landed, they misplaced his luggage.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah, they spent over an hour looking for the luggage, and he found it, but I guess couldn't get to the venue in time, or whatever it was.
Yeah, but that sucks when you have shit like that happen.
But, I mean, Pat's a pro. Pat's a teacher, so if anybody's going to be able to do things on the fly, it's, Pat. And Pat's he's a smart guy. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm sucking Pat's dick, but, I appreciate Pat. I think, he got my interest back into wrestling with, at the time it was PWS, now with it being Wrestle Pro. I want to see good things happen to them. A lot of the guys I met through there are just really good people, and I'd like to see them be successful.
I've never really seen him wrestle a lot, to be completely honest with you. I saw him maybe once or twice before this gimmick, and I was kind of like, okay. He's not great, but he's not terrible. And now that he's doing the buzzsaw deal, I actually really like it.
Yeah, and I like the concept behind it. It's everybody, like, he's never had the buzz, so now he wants to go around and attack the people.
Yeah, because the first promo he cut to introduce the character was so good.
I was just about to ask, did you see the promo he did where he's sitting in the ring with himself? Yeah, that was done so well. I watched that and I was like, damn, man, this guy deserves to be on TV.
It was a killer promo.
Yeah, really smartly done. And I think that's what's missing in wrestling. They had it with Bray, but then they got all fucking spooky and creepy and
his first year, that when he was more of just chilling in the rocking chair and the Cabana Boy shirt.
Yeah, kind of just semi-prophesizing, but just talking about what was going on now, just in different words. But it's once he started talking about all this other shit, he just kind of looked like a fucking...
Armageddon and evil and...
Yeah, they could have found ways to do it without... I mean, granted, I heard he was responsible for a lot of his own writing, but it may have been where they were pushing him to go.
It's funny you mention this, because that's a good segue. I was just reading up that he's apparently very close to returning.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see, a reformed version of, when he was in the Wyatt family.
Huh.
Like, what if that was the new gimmick he was teasing? What if he comes back and has something to do with Daniel Bryan? I mean, it would make sense. They could relate back to the past.
Dude, that would be amazing. I don't, because I'm pretty sure Harper is either cleared or he's very close to being cleared.
Yeah, if they like kind of redid the Wyatts, don't call it the Wyatts, and had Daniel Bryan lead the group of 4 of them, like that would be interesting. Like, you know, it's
because I think he's doing his best work right now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think he's so hateable right now. SmackDown is so superior over Raw. It's not even. Oh yeah, so I did watch SmackDown because the whole hour was was Kofi Kingston. We can get to that in a second.
Dude, that was really impressive.
It makes me wonder. I mean, like why they did that. I mean, because imagine if they gave him a 1-month run with the title.
Yeah.
But I would not have a problem with that.
No.
If Kofi won in February, dropped it in March, back to Daniel Bryan, I'd be okay with that because at least he's on the list of world champions. I don't know how long of a title reign he deserves, but I could see him like as a fluke winner winning the title.
Because I remember Xavier Woods in interviews before said he's been petitioning like hell to have Kofi become world champion forever.
I mean, like again, even if it's WWE builds dynasties with these title reigns. Like you watch UFC, and if somebody defends their title 4 times, they're considered like possibly the best in their division, like all time. Like belts don't get defended often, so when you have a guy like Demetrius Johnson, who I think had 12 title defenses,
he's like superhuman.
Yeah, when most guys can't get past 3, I think heavyweight is 4. I think 4 successful title defenses is the record by Stipe. I don't quote me on that, but it's not much more than that. But then you have like these dynasties, so it rules out a guy like Kofi winning the title for a month, or if he wins it for a month and loses it, people want to criticize like, X, Y, and Z. Like, he's still fucking world champion.
Yeah. I just feel bad for Mustafa Ali that it had to come at his expense.
Yeah, I've been a Mustafa Ali fan since I first laid eyes on him. I still think he has an amazing, unlimited career ahead of him, but it just sucks for him right now. Oh, yeah. I heard through the grapevine. How about this? It's gonna be EC3 versus John Cena at Mania. It looks like Lars lost his spot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, one of my buddies has told me that. When I asked him to confirm it, he came back and said, yeah, that's what he's hearing.
Did you see Lars's recent tweet?
No.
I don't know if he deleted it now or not, and if he was like screwing around. He was like after it was something to the effect of after like the long series of events that happened to him, he was converting to the Church of Scientology.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I was like, well, that's kind of odd. And Lance put in the chat, he says he thinks Kofi's in the chamber to do, as they call it, a Kofi spot.
Yeah, I think if there's anybody that's going to do a high spot, it's definitely going to have to be Kofi. I don't see Randy doing any high spots. No. I'm lucky if Randy does anything other than just walk around and occasionally do a move.
He actually had me laughing with a tweet that he put out. Apparently he has a signing coming up in Dallas, and he's like, instead of trying to grab me in airports, restaurants, or bathrooms, you can meet me here.
Oh, that's funny.
But my comment was, of all the people I would not want to bother, it would be him.
Yeah, bro, I'll fucking punt kick you in the head in the bathroom and walk out.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I mean, because we've heard all
kick you in the head.
We've heard all the
shit
stories.
in your bag, grab his dick and shake your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, Randy Orton things. Like, and that doesn't even sound like too much of a stretch.
No, because that's what I was like. Why would somebody want to mess with him anyway?
Like, him and Brock are two guys that I just don't know if I'd want to, like, annoy if I seen them somewhere. Because Brock, I'm pretty sure, would pick somebody up and throw him across the airport.
Yeah.
And then just make that weird sound he makes when he yells.
Yeah. Where it sounds like a helium tank or something.
Yeah, it sounds like a fucking sick bird.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to bring this up too, about the Revival.
Okay.
Where they finally got their title, the world title. Vince finally threw him a bone.
Have you seen what they've been posting?
Yeah, that they want to bring back the old ones.
I'm okay with that. I love those old titles. I mean, like, I think they need to get away from these ugly ones that they have now. I think these
they're
are
hideous looking.
Yeah, bro. I even think that the NXT, I mean, the Cruiserweight title looks better than them. And I think the Cruiserweight title is pretty awful.
Yeah, just their new designs are bad.
Except that all their UK ones are fucking beautiful.
And the NXT ones.
And the women's tag title, I don't know where you stand on that. I think I think that is such a pretty belt. I think it looks so like 2019. Like I think that looks so good. It's not two pennies. And I don't know, it's just there's something about them. They look sleek. It's just like, all right, I could deal with that when I know what else they could fucking be introducing instead.
But I'm curious to see where they go with the Revival now.
Yeah, I hope they give them a decent tag run.
It's long overdue because they're really good tag team guys.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure this is just to make sure that they don't resign. But, I mean, that they do resign.
That they do resign, yeah.
But their contract isn't up for another year anyway. So I'm hoping within the next year, WWE does go forward with their promise of trying to make the tag division something.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm a strong proponent of a tag Money in the Bank, but you need legitimate fucking tag teams that it can actually
you can't
feel
just
like
throw them together.
Yeah. Yeah, could you imagine that, like, all of a sudden seeing a tag team come out with the fucking briefcases? Like, I think that could be such a cool image, depending on
how they do it.
Yeah.
I will say this about Raw this past week. I thought the way they booked the ending of the show was very well done.
I'm trying to remember what the very ending was.
With Charlotte and Becky.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was great. I think people really believe that Charlotte's going to be the only one in the main event.
I thought that was one of the best things they've done in a long time because I've seen people very angry about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of been expected the whole time, so I'm not really upset. But yeah, I see people, it looks like they're having a fucking heart attack over it. And it's like, oh my God, don't you people know it's all a work? Plus, what also helps is that Becky's selling it on Twitter. She put up the thing, she said complete bullshit in those exact words.
Nice.
Like, uncensored, nothing. I was like, did she really put that fucking up there? But it looked like a direct link to the tweet, so.
Lance said he believes that they should just have the tag teams on one specific show, like, and make it kind of like, either Raw is for the tag division or SmackDown, as opposed to two different sets of belts.
I think it should be one set of belt and the team travels between brands.
I can live with that.
You know, I mean, it's
like how they did originally with the brand split, where if you were the world champion, you came on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I just think it also kind of gets hard writing storylines for that, because how do you explain them going back and forth?
That's true, too.
Without having teams fighting each other. You know, and you can't have Raw and SmackDown fight each other because it's not Survivor Series. The only time of the year where Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head in direct competition.
Or the Royal Rumble.
Or Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Or Greatest Royal Rumble.
It just depends.
Yep. Or the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah. But how dare you use logic to wrestling?
I'm sorry.
Now we got to talk about. I always get them confused.
Jimmy.
The one
Jimmy.
Uso brother.
Jimmy Uso got arrested, and his real name is Jonathan Fatu.
Okay.
I worked on that all day long to make sure that I remembered that at the drop of a hat. I remembered Jimmy Johns all day long. This is Jimmy Jonathan.
I know from what I read. His wife was driving
down the wrong way
on a one-way street.
Yeah.
And they got pulled over, and apparently he was inebriated and basically tried to get in a fist fight with a cop.
Yeah, the story I heard was the car reeked of booze after it was pulled over, so they asked her to get out of the car. He got out of the car, ignored commands from the cops, took off his jacket and his shirt, and squared up with the cops. They pulled a taser, but I don't think they tased him, and then he calmed down.
No good's going to become of that if you don't follow orders.
I mean, you don't try to fight people. I mean,
exactly.
And she's driving down the street the wrong way. They don't know who she is. I think it was later at night, and the car smelled of booze. Like I kind of was questioning the person.
If you're coming from the arena, you're looking at least after midnight.
It may have been a house show. I think it said that it was 10:30 local time.
Okay, but you know what I mean. It's
it's later
than most people.
Yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't be opposed to have cause people drive down. Like I live in a one-way street. People drive down here all the time. I wouldn't fucking mind like once in a while a cop sitting over here going, "How the fuck are you driving down this street?" It's so obvious that it's not, but it happens all the time.
It's true, dude. There's an arena that runs shows monthly that I go to in a town, and it's a lot of one-ways, like in the town, and if you aren't familiar with it, you would never know. So I could see where it could easily happen.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it could definitely happen to somebody. But if you get pulled over in the middle of doing something wrong, even if you don't intend to be doing it, like...
Don't freak the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like he's he's larger than most people. Even as a small wrestler, he's still larger than most people. So you have this young, muscular, tattooed guy squaring up with you. I mean, like, I don't know what the fuck I would do. Like Lance traffic violation.
Yeah, like Lance he's lucky he didn't get shot or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially when it was just, if the car reeked of booze, it means it was an open container. I don't know if they found anything. She was driving, so long as she didn't, Yeah,
it's not going to...
I don't think it's a problem to have an open container if you're not drinking, but I don't know how that works. I don't drive. I don't know what the laws are.
I was going to say, and it varies from state to state.
Yeah, I wouldn't be driving if I was drunk, so, I mean, that's added onto it too, so I don't want to be a backseat driver or a backseat commentator.
But no, what you're saying is spot on. I just wonder how, because did you see WWE put out a statement?
Yeah, Jonathan Fatu was responsible for his own actions.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy.
I think they put out the same thing word for word when Jey Uso got arrested last year for drunk driving. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember it was the other one now.
Yeah. I mean, look, if he didn't actually commit, if he didn't swing at the cops, then he didn't really commit a crime. I hope that they don't fucking penalize him for this. But it's just, for himself, I think that was just a stupid decision to make. It's just, he's lucky nothing worse happened.
Absolutely. It could have been way, way worse.
Yeah, I mean, again, and it's not like he's just sitting there. When you take your shirt off and you start squaring up and coming at people, you
nothing
become
good
an aggressor.
Will become of that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know how the fuck I would react to 240-pound muscular tattooed man is coming at me with his fists up.
Hell yeah. It's crazy.
But and it's funny. TMZ's the one who broke the story.
Interesting.
So.
The other big news this week is about the Undertaker.
Yeah, that's actually Conrad Thompson. I'm pretty sure that's the Conrad from the All Elite.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually, Undertaker was said to be charging $25,000 an hour per appearance, and apparently they were able to get him for $60,000. So I guess he does like bundle rates.
Yeah, I guess.
And he saved a whole $15,000. But I don't know. Do you think Undertaker brings in $60,000 additional dollars to a convention like that?
Nope.
In 3 hours. I don't either. I don't.
I mean, I respect the hell out of him, but I don't. I think, how I want to say this, it's more. I don't want to say a publicity stunt, but it's more to get press.
Well, I mean, apparently this place, like the people who are running this, they contract talent all the time. I think Flair did one year. It may not be Starcast, but I think it's the people who run it.
It was probably like WrestleCade, I bet.
One Shawn Michaels showed up, and this was shortly after his career was over.
Okay.
They ponied up the money, but it's just more. He's not going. I would be almost willing to bet anything you will not see Undertaker at All In 2.
No.
This is kind of like what Punk did. It's a signing the day before, and it's kind of being thrown kind of like how during WrestleMania week they have all like the big events. They're doing kind of like an access kind of thing.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of agreement they have. If it's one like we pay you to come in and then we make the money off of pictures and autographs, because I don't see why else somebody would bring you in. Like if I'm gonna bring you in for $1,000 and I'm gonna charge people $10 a picture, that means I have to hope to have 100 people take a picture if I'm keeping that money.
Yeah, that's how I've seen it, where they, you work a fee to come in, and then it's X amount for an autographed picture, X amount for an autographed photo.
And sometimes it's split a certain way between the vendor and the company. Like there's all different ways to work that out. But
totally,
I would think that if you're paying $60,000 for somebody to come for 3 hours, you're keeping all the proceeds of everything. That's
fuck yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't see how that's a sound investment. I don't see that getting more people in. Maybe it will get more people in, but. Even if I think they're charging $125 per picture. Like, is the difference of people, like the people who have bought the tickets already, or actually, I don't know if the tickets are on sale yet, but like, I don't think it's going to be $60,000 worth of a difference of.
Well, you could do the math. If you'd have to have X amount in 3 hours time just to break even.
Yeah, that's just on pictures and autographs. That's not people willing to pay to come, because you have to pay to come into the convention, and then a separate price for Undertaker.
Yeah, totally.
But how many of those people would have been paying the entry fee to begin with? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many additional people...
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, people are going to specifically pay to go in now because he was announced.
Yeah, how many, like, people already going, yeah, they may spend, say, an extra $125, but are they going to spend an extra $120 for, like, are people going to come with them that weren't going to?
Yeah, so, I know what you mean.
And I don't know if that's going to add up to $60,000. I mean, if it does, good for them. Have you seen the list
of people they're bringing?
No, I've seen the list of All Elite Wrestling's roster, and I want to ask you what you think your opinion is.
About their roster so far, I really like it.
It's 28 people as of right now.
Oh, it's up to that many?
Did you watch the All Elite
press conference?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I see good things happen, man. The announced matches so far is that Katie Lee Ray? The cute, bubbly one?
Yes.
Versus, was it Nyla Rose?
Yes.
who I have no familiarity with, which I'm okay with because it means I'm going to get to see like new matches. And is Britt Baker announced for that match? I think
Yes.
Dr. Britt Baker was announced, so you're going to have a three-way for that one. You're going to have the Brothers versus the Brothers with Pentagon and Phoenix versus the Young Bucks. I think that's going to be great.
I cringed when he took the package pile driver.
Yeah, that looked rough.
I went, oh.
I'm going to be in the minority here and say I am not excited about Jericho versus Omega 2.
I don't know what they can do differently, to be honest with you.
I mean, other than it being like a cool first time ever match, I don't even think that was in the top 50 matches of last year.
Honestly, I think they're just doing it because we want to do it in the States now.
Well, yeah, and because Jericho's a big draw, they want, when Kenny wins, they're going to want Kenny to be seen as the guy who beat Jericho in front of an audience of who's going to know who Jericho is. So,
the other interesting one is Hangman Page and Pac.
Yeah, that's another really interesting one. Like I'm looking forward to all of this, and the one comment I see all the time that I have the biggest, but for me it's like the best thing. But I see people's biggest criticism. I don't know any of these people. Well, for me that means I'm gonna get to see new matches, new things. I'm not gonna see fucking Randy Orton versus
John Cena.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm going to get to see people. Okay, I don't know who they are, but I know that they're not just random sucky people because they're being hired by some of the best wrestlers in the world now, like current with their finger on the pulse. I think the Young Bucks are younger than we are.
Yeah, I'm really excited that they signed Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, you were right on that. When I looked at the spelling, I realized I was like, oh shit, I was
Yeah, no, that's cool. Because he's a really, really talented cruiserweight.
Yeah, they have that whole deal with AAA, which is interesting.
And then the Chinese company.
Yeah, OWE, Oriental Wrestling Entertainment.
Which I'm really intrigued about as well.
Yeah, they're going to have a match. Sema and two of his guys versus SoCal Uncensored, which I'm not a big fan of SoCal Uncensored.
Never been a big fan.
I don't dislike the Fallen Angel, but there's just been times where I'm just like, you're such a stupid gimmick. Like when he was like the priest, whatever he was in TNA, he'd come out with the glasses and do the sign of the cross.
What I want to say is they're just kind of like, eh. You know what I mean? Like I could take it or leave it.
I don't know Scorpio Sky enough to have like a real opinion on him. I don't know how he got incorporated with with the other two. But
I'm not sure either, but I've seen him wrestle. He's pretty good.
I've watched Kazarian wrestle most of his career because I remember him in the very beginning of TNA. So it's like I kind of feel like I've seen most of what I'm going to see from him.
And then they signed. He wasn't there, and they didn't announce it, but they signed Jimmy Havoc. So I was kind of surprised by that.
You know what surprised me, and it popped me, bro? I haven't been popped that long in a long time. Aja fucking Kong. Bro, if you know me, I like big Japanese women wrestlers because they just beat the shit out of people. And they showed her on the screen. I was so happy. I have no idea who that other one is.
I don't either, but Aja Kong is a bad, bad lady.
Yeah, that is a bad lady. I am very happy with that. I kind of wish Bull Nakano was still a thing because I loved Bull Nakano.
I'm almost pretty sure. I'm gonna Google it just to verify it. That Aja Kong was the crazy Japanese lady that used to do like exploding death matches over there.
She may have been. I know her and Awesome Kong had first they fought and then they were a tag team. Then they were in some company where like they would dress up like weird schoolgirls and hop down to the ring. Those two ginormous human beings.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find that.
Now, I was so happy to hear about Aja Kong. That just reminds me of women wrestlers from when I grew up when they weren't like they didn't have to look sexy to be a wrestler. Like,
Oh yeah, she wrestled in All Japan, so she was a bad, bad lady.
yeah, that's a bad woman right there. I'm pretty sure she's also like gone to war with some of the dudes too. So,
Oh, definitely.
but I'm very happy with the roster. I haven't seen a lot of Sonny Kiss, but I've seen some of his work with Exolicious with Lucha Underground.
Yes.
Uh, but all I need to know is that they're putting their money where their mouth is when they say that they're going to be all inclusive.
Because the one girl that we mentioned, it's wrestling the triple threat. I'm forgetting her name.
Britt Baker, Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose. She's the first trans wrestler.
Is that what it is? She trans? Is
Yes.
that it? I just looked at her. I was like, yo, that's a large, thick woman. But I meant that in like the best possible.
Yeah.
This is a figure you don't see in wrestling.
Yeah, no,
She looked like
she's trans.
Oh, very cool. I did not know that.
Because apparently there was a lot of negative comments and stereotypes for her and somebody else that they had AEW put out a big statement about it.
Oh, fuck people. I mean, it's like, first of all, wrestling's not real to begin with. If she's transgender, identifies as a woman, look more or less just looks like, I mean, she looks like a very muscular woman. I mean, China looked like,
Yeah.
there were times China looked like a dude, I mean, it's,
Especially early on.
it's she's who she is. I mean, and if that's what makes her happy and she's getting bookings and, so long as they don't use that as a gimmick, somebody's sexuality should never be a gimmick. I mean, like, I like the fact that Sonny Kiss, yes, you get the fact that he's very gay. His gimmick isn't the fact that he's gay. His stuff doesn't revolve around the fact that he's gay. He just happens to be a gay character. And I don't think WWE can do any of that nuance shit anymore.
No, I agree.
I mean, with WWE, I wouldn't be surprised if they had like real bullying and the guy open up his locker and find like notes like "ha ha ha, you're gay." You know what I mean? Like that's how WWE would tackle.
Well, you remember what they did with the Nia thing last year?
What Nia thing?
Where they had Alexa Bliss bully her.
Well, I mean, like that's just regular storyline, but like that wasn't for her. That wasn't for anything else, right? That was just her being a bully.
Yeah, no, and they were making fun of her weight.
Oh, yeah. I think if it's that big of a problem, though, she wouldn't have been, like...
Okay to do it.
No, I'm saying I don't think WWE would have Nia on TV as much if her weight was as big of an issue as people seem to think it is.
That's true.
I mean, she keeps getting more and more and more handed to her the more and more she does, on top of hurting people. If they really had a problem with her weight, too, I don't think she'd be on TV.
It makes sense.
I think from the last time we were on, it had both been announced and then recanted the fact that Dean Ambrose was supposed to fight Nia Jax at a house show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I had told you, that had surprised the shit out of me because of Mattel.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's been pulled. WWE claims that was an old advertisement, but like, how old could that have been? Like, that's a current thing that's been going on.
Yeah.
So I think that's just WWE.
Especially with Dean getting ready to finish up in the next couple months.
Exactly. That's just WWE being WWE and trying to cover their ass. I would say 99.99999 that this stuff with Dean is not a work, only because they sent out official press releases to news agencies that are finally treating them legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would lie to them. But there's still that one tiny part of me that was like, what if this ends up being...
a giant swerve.
Yeah, like...
But see, I don't... Like you just said, I don't know if they would risk... with news agencies being like, well, screw you. You know what I mean?
The only thing, and this is reaching, and I know it's reaching. That's why I don't really put any weight to it, and this is just something that came into my head. The only thing I could possibly see that if it is a work and why they would lie is if it was a work where they're willing to work together with AEW and really work everybody. And then when it comes out that, like whatever the story is, it'll just get attention just for the story, and nobody will ever know that it was a work.
Yeah.
Again, I don't see that as happening, but if it is a work, I think that's the only way that it is a work, is that if you're somehow
I'll tell
working
you this, and I don't know your opinion on it. Ever since it's come out that he's quote-unquote leaving, I think he's had his best work on the mic.
Well, Monday, apparently, he didn't cut most of the promo he was supposed to cut. He came out and said, just slay the beast, and that was all. And he was supposed to say a lot more, and he just improvised, cut out most of the promo.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
So, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know.
I look at it like this. I just want the dude to be happy.
Yeah, and it's like throw money at him. He's not the kind of guy that you're going to throw money at and he's going to get happy. Like, he's just not. I see him a lot like Punk with that.
Yep. I think he's going to be the type that you're going to see go away and become a park ranger.
Well, I also see, like, he's the type that, okay, WWE's going to want to bury him before he goes out. Well, fine, you're burying Dean Ambrose. That's your creation. He's just going to go back as Jon Moxley.
Yeah, because he still has, a very long career as Jon Moxley.
I firmly believe that. I believe he has more years in this business. I mean, there are also possible, I don't want to say rumors, but he could just decide to retire.
It wouldn't shock me, or he would do, like, spot appearances or spot shows.
I mean, he's in a position now I'm sure he never expected to be in.
Because he has a lot of friends still that wrestle on the independent scene, and who's to say, I'm not saying this is going to happen, I'm just saying who's to say he might just say, hey, I want to go wrestle my friend and just whatever.
Yeah, I mean, or realize I have made millions of dollars in my career, I have an amazing, beautiful wife, why take the chance
exactly
of anything ever happening to me again? I don't know. That's probably the route I would go down if I had really it's. You may make more money elsewhere.
Yeah, not to cut you off. I always wondered that after the injury and he got the infection, that it basically changed his outlook on everything.
I mean, that's extremely possible. I mean, it's if reports are to be believed, he was near fatal with that.
Yep. I've been there. That's not fun.
I mean, and it just may put things into a different perspective. He is the love of his life. He's probably made more, like I said, he's probably made more money than he ever expected to.
He's very frugal.
Yeah, if he was able to turn down the money offer that I heard, it was like $5 million for 3 years, then money isn't a concern for him. Then he's not looking for money. And I only say that because it's like these are guys who grew up wrestling for like $10, broke as fuck. So, I mean, if they're in a position where he could turn down $5 million, then I think he's doing okay enough for himself where he doesn't need to keep going through this if he doesn't want to. And I'm all for people getting out early.
Yeah, while you have your health.
It's a young man's sport. If guys step over, they give other people a chance to build themselves up. I mean, it's you go out on top or you go out healthy.
Definitely. All right, dude. This weekend is Elimination Chamber. I have the card in front of me, and I want to roll through it kind of quick and get your thoughts, because there's only 7 matches. I didn't know that.
Oh, as of the other day, I think there were only like 4, and they've added like 3 in the last
Jesus
couple of days.
Christ.
Yeah, like the Baron Corbin match was added. I don't even know. That was added after Raw, I believe.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll roll through it here. Starting off, I didn't even know there was a pre-show match, but apparently there is.
The
It's
205.
yeah, Buddy Murphy
Yeah,
defending his cruiserweight title against Akira Tozawa.
Buddy Murphy.
Yep.
They're not gonna give it to fucking Tozawa on a random pre-show match.
Yeah, and Buddy Murphy retains. I've actually really liked his run.
Yeah, I think he's great. I think the only thing is I don't think he's 205 pounds.
Oh no, we're like 225.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't give a shit, but I mean, I hate the fact that they have a weight class on it because you have guys who can fly that are bigger. I mean, like, look, Joe never would have been X Division champion if it was based on weight.
You're right. All right, moving on, we have Braun Strowman one-on-one with Baron Corbin in a no DQ match.
Hope the building collapses on top of both of them. Nobody else, just them.
Yeah. Mention.
Oh yeah.
The little thing you told me off air.
All right. Everybody listening right now, I want you to think in your head how many matches you think you've seen of Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin.
I thought at least half a dozen.
Now think about that number for a second. If you thought anything more than 1, you're wrong. Because apparently they've only had 1 singles match, and I'm not counting the one. I guess it was Survivor Series where he was still injured and everybody beat up Corbin.
And then he just finished him off.
Or was that that was at TLC.
Okay.
But yeah, not counting that one, they've had 1 singles match.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, that's I came across that on either What Culture or Cultaholic or one of those earlier today. So thought we'd share that along. And yeah, that's crazy. It just shows how terrible their booking can be. That we already feel like we've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah. But Strowman's winning, obviously.
Yeah, I see this as like just a fucking exhibition of Strowman beating the shit out of Corbin, unless the only way otherwise is unless Drew McIntyre comes down to set up their feud for Mania. It's probably going to be McIntyre and Strowman. So it's the only way I see Corbin winning is if McIntyre interferes. But if no interference, Strowman wins.
That's fair. All right. Next we have Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush defending the Intercontinental title against Finn Balor.
Now, that's weird. So, if Leo gets pinned, Balor becomes champion?
Yeah, it's a handicap match.
I think if Balor's going to win, that's how it's going to happen. But I don't know. I don't see Lashley taking a pinfall. I think Finn wins, but somehow doesn't win the title.
Okay, like a DQ or count out.
Something like, yeah. Something happens with Lio Rush because the only reason why he would be added to the match is for him to take the pinfall or submission or whatever it is. I think it's going to be because of Lio Rush, but I don't think he leaves with the title. I think it would be awesome if he did, but I don't think he's leaving.
Yeah, I think Lashley's keeping it too. All right, next we have The Miz and Shane McMahon defending the SmackDown tag titles against the Usos.
I think The Miz and Shane hold it at least 1 more month. Because I think it's going to culminate with them at WrestleMania, but I don't think you could pull the trigger on it yet.
Yeah, because I think one of them will eventually turn.
Yeah, either that, again, this is going to be, I think all my lists are going to be either or. I'm like, all my choices can be either or. Or they lose it this weekend, and it starts their storyline of one turning on the other one.
Okay.
I think Shane is going to end up turning on The Miz.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's going to get egotistical, and something's going to happen, and he's going to turn on The Miz. Like, Miz is going to get pinned, and something's going to happen, and Shane's going to turn
I hope they drag it out a little longer.
Yeah, I hope they keep the title on them at least one more month.
I do too.
And let it happen at the next pay-per-view. So so that the title can be defended at the pay-per-view between actual tag team wrestlers.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have the tag team chamber match for the women's tag team titles, which is Nia Jackson, Tamina, the Riot Squad, Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, the Iconics, Bailey and Sasha Banks, and Naomi and Carmella.
I'm gonna go with Nia and Tamina.
Interesting.
Because I think they win, and then at Mania, Bailey and Sasha win the titles at Mania. I think it's going to be a bigger moment if they win it at Mania. But being first ever champions
means a lot too.
Yeah.
Because I always felt it was going to be Bailey and Sasha because they gave them a catchy name and.
I honestly think that WWE would I mean, I think you get more heat on Nia and Tamina than you do any kind of getting Sasha and Bailey any more over. You know
right,
what I
I
mean?
got you.
But again, like I think that that's the smarter booking long term because then you can really draw out how important it is for these two women to get the title.
Well, and I like your thinking because I'm the same way where I always believe the babyface chasing is better than them actually as the champion.
Yeah, and I think that with them winning it at Mania would just be a better moment for them for the title. Because if they win it now, and they just successfully defend it at Mania, it's you want to keep that built in high profile matches to keep the prestige up. If they're just going to be throwaway matches, you're going to have the same situation that you have with the men's titles on Raw, say the Raw Smack,
makes sense.
The Raw tag titles. But I think the smarter thing to do is give it to a heel team and let a babyface team take it at Mania.
There you go. All right. Next we have Ronda Rousey defending her Raw Women's Championship against Ruby Riott.
Yeah, I don't even know what the purpose of these matches are for. Ronda Rousey's going to win this.
Yeah, I actually think Ruby will get a really good match out of her.
I hope so. You notice Asuka's not on the pay-per-view?
Yes.
Like she disappeared basically.
Isn't that crazy?
I heard that they want to do Asuka versus Mandy Rose for Mania.
Ugh.
I don't think she's bad in the ring. I think that they've stuck her with the stupid fucking storyline with Naomi. I think she's great at getting heel heat though.
Oh yeah.
I want to see more out of Sonya Deville. I think she has some potential.
I do too. I think she's really talented.
I think she has a future.
Let's see here. Last and certainly not least, the chamber match for the WWE title. Daniel Bryan defending it against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Kofi Kingston.
Alright, well, seeing that we're not betting anything here, so I have nothing to lose, I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to say Kofi Kingston. And I say this because they still have one more pay-per-view before WrestleMania, being Fastlane. And I personally would like to see Kofi win the title. I think it would shock everybody. I think it would get people to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking now to see at the pay-per-view list. But yeah, that would be very shocking. Yeah, Fastlane is March 10th.
Yeah, I mean, I was sure that was coming up beforehand. But yeah, you can have the belt on him for, I mean, like, look, it's either that or it's not like he's ever going to get a long run to begin with. So it's like, what's better, is it better for him never to have it or for him to have...
Have it a week or a month or whatever.
Yeah, and then at least maybe down the line be in the conversation, like when there are, like, giving out chances. Like, oh, I'm a former world champion.
Why not, right?
Yeah, I'm all for Kofi getting it. I think he deserves it. He's been loyal to the company. He started off with a stupid fucking gimmick.
Yeah. I wanted to
But I think Daniel Bryan's gonna win.
yeah, I'm pretty sure too. I wanted to touch on something I almost forgot. Did you ever see the video of Kevin Owens from this past week?
Yeah, I saw parts of it. Yes, I had forgotten after the fact when you had asked me earlier if I had seen it. I remembered that I had with him sitting in the bowling alley.
Yes.
I'm hearing he's going to be brought back as like the anti Mr. Perfect, like just like an everyday man.
I don't know if that's going to work.
I don't know because he's amazing as a good guy, a very relatable good guy. I think people
I'll
can
say
really
this,
like him.
And I showed my son the video, and when he stood up, the first thing he said is, "Holy crap!" He says, "Kevin lost a lot of weight."
Yeah, he looked really good. That's why I went back and I watched some of it. He looked really slim.
Like that, he looked thinner than he did when he first debuted in NXT.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, he just looks like he's lean now instead of like, husky, because I think husky would be the best way to have described him.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, I mean, he's looking good. And I think he could work as a babyface. I really do. I think he's good enough to play just about anything. And I think he's been a heel most of the time he's been here. So I think it gives people, like, I think it's a good reset for his character. Then if he does go heel,
it'll mean more.
Yeah, because he's had people following him that he's turned on. Like, he's actually turning on people. So I like the everyday man gimmick.
The one thing I did not like is it's like, he basically, "I'll be back in a month" or something. It's like, can't you just, like, surprise us?
I mean, he could show up at the pay-per-view. He's not going to, but,
I know,
he could.
but I don't know. That's just like a little thing that irks me.
Yeah, I like surprise returns. I don't think they do them well enough at all anymore for him to be worth the surprise a lot of the time.
I mean, I would love to see him on Mania, but if you wanted to do it right, you should wait till the night after Mania and bring him back.
Or bring him back during WrestleMania.
That too.
Have him interfere in something.
Either way, it'd be. I'm excited to see him back.
What if one of the final things you see Dean do is come down with Roman at Mania to help Seth win? How big of a pop do you think that would get if Roman showed up?
People lose their mind.
Because I'm hearing rumblings.
You know what how do I want to word this? Because if he's really leaving, they want to have, I bet you, one last hurrah, so to speak, with the Shield.
By hurrah, you mean one single night?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't see that.
What I mean is one final moment.
Oh, yeah, and I think Seth with the world title conquering Brock, I think, would be the perfect at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
It just depends on how much he can be cleared to do.
If anything.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm even talking about they may not clear him to do something like a spear, even though he's not taking any damage, or like.
Oh no, I agree with you. I mean, there's no guarantee that he could even be physical at all.
Yeah, I'd like to see him be able to slide into the ring and help with a triple power bomb, even if that's all he did.
And he could realistically do that because he could just put his hand on it and,
Yeah, I would like that.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Before we get out of here for tonight, you got any plans for the weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to go see my parents on Sunday. My wife and I are going out for tea somewhere tomorrow. For tea? Yeah.
You're turning British on me?
Yeah, I'm going to be British for the afternoon.
You got to message Dean then to find out how to do it right.
Yep. It's something we did on a cruise one time, and she's been wanting to go. So since this past week was Valentine's Day,
sounds like fun.
Something. Yeah, I'm gonna have a good time.
That sounds cool. I will be in Atlantic City tomorrow at a show at the... Give me a second. Where the hell is it? It's at the Showboat.
Is that a place? I don't know anything about.
Casino.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've been to Atlantic City once, and we were drunk the whole time.
I'm just excited because I'm probably not going to have to pay a ton of money to park this time.
See, that's how you know you live a nice, simple life. You get excited when you don't have to spend a lot of money for parking.
Yep.
That's why I love you.
Because the last time I went, bro, for that convention, I paid like somewhere between $30 and $40.
That's like an hour over here in Manhattan.
Are you fucking serious?
It's like $26 and change for like an hour. I mean, like, it gets cheaper as the day goes on per hour.
That was all day parking.
Oh, yeah, so maybe it'd be like 50 something. But yeah, no, it's like the first half hour you're paying like $20-something for. It's ridiculous over here, bro. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pay like $10 for the whole day.
There you go.
So I was very excited to hear that.
I'm happy for you. Save some money.
Yeah, and then Sunday, depending on the weather, because they're talking about maybe snow here, me and Little Man might go to a Elimination Chamber watch party.
Oh, that's nice. I hope the snow doesn't affect us here too bad someday.
Yeah, because he's off school on Monday for President's Day, so we might go over friends and watch it.
That's cool.
Because I messaged a friend and he's like, please come. He's like, because he's a huge AJ, my boy's a big Styles fan. He's like, and my buddy wanted to mess with him when Brian wins.
Oh, that's awful.
Everybody, that shit always happened to me when I was a kid. You remember?
You know. I know. Doesn't make it less awful. But I would be joining in if I was there too, so don't worry about it.
Lance said, hearing us talk about parking, it reminds him how he loves his 25-cent parking meters for 30 minutes.
I mean, like, we have those here too. Like, we actually have them across the street from where I live, but we don't pay for parking. We got to hook up. We get a $600 parking pass every year.
Woo!
Yeah, but it's covered parking.
But that's good. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's right across, you know, and my wife never has to look for parking. Pulls in, boom, done, home.
Nice.
Yeah, it's literally across the street. We don't got to worry about it. Just the one time I had to go fucking shovel, I dropped the damn keys in the snow and I had to go back. She found it like a week later.
I remember that.
Oh, Jesus. So, but, yep, that's about it.
Same here, but
and
on that
finishing
note,
off this diamond painting thing, hopefully this weekend.
Nice.
I'll send you a picture of it when we get off.
Sweet. All right, everyone, we're going to get out of here for tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff, and we'll see you back next week. Have a good night, everybody.